Good day and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we are continuing our work on Rosefort, and today I'm actually starting the first real houses in the proper style that I will be using for Rosefort. So I hope you guys enjoy the style and let me know what you think about it, and maybe if you've got any tips to add some extra details. Now I have to note that most of these buildings will all get more details as I start decorating them from the inside, do the interiors, add some more windows, and also some windows in the roofs and stuff. But for now it's just about the main structure, getting an idea of the general town, etc, etc. So the first big build that I'm doing right here will be some sort of inn where people can go and have a drink, and probably also rent a room to stay for the night. So, and next to it you can see the first little house I did, which is recreating the old design we used last year when we did Rosefort for the first time. So I'm really glad with that design. And if you hear any background noises, that's just my dog playing with some toys. So anyway, you can see this is a pretty big build, and at the moment still really boring. I still have to decorate the entire roof, and as I said, I will probably add some windows also in the roof just to add some more details. I'm now adding an extra part to it because I figured I want to have a big fire in the inn like you see in Skyrim, but the smoke needs to go somewhere, so that's why I'm building this open part on the roof so that I can have the smoke come out from the top of the build. So yeah, so that's the first big design that we done. Now it's not completely finished, as I pointed out. We do need to add a lot of details, but I'm kind of glad with the first thing. Then I did this little house in another palette, but the same style. Unfortunately my replay crashed, so I lost the footage of me actually building this house, and I also did some decorating, as you can see, with some nature and a little pig pen in the back. So yeah, this is one of the other palettes that I will be using. Then I figured it would be nice to have some smaller stables next to the inn for travelers, since the main stables across of the road, which I still have to finish, will mostly be for the army, for the riders of Rosefort. So I'm just making a little stable. So I wanted to do a not another straight house, so I'm adding a little bit of a curve into this one, a little bit of an angle, and it actually turns out pretty well. So I'm again doing this in the different palettes just to vary it up, and yeah, just keep mixing these two palettes that I have. This will be the house of the Carpenter, which will yeah, make all the furniture for this town, which will he will also get a special working place next to the build. So we're starting to do some more details around the city or around the town to add some extra life to it. So I'm now doing some details, and we're gonna do the paths as well. So I'm just gonna add some sloping to this, all the layers. And after that we're gonna start working on the workplace for the Carpenter, where he can work on all the chairs and stuff he makes for the town. So yeah, so we've got a little bit of layering going on, and after that we're gonna work on this workplace. So I wanted to separate the workplace from the rest of the town with a little wall. So after I finish this roof detailing, I will start on that. We're first masking it out with magenta wool, just because I can layer it over with some brushes after that. So you see me fixing up a couple of things, and then I'm just gonna start doing the workplace. So we start out pretty simple, but just adding some wooden stuff in there, basically just adding supplies for him and a place to work and some goods that he has finished and probably will be picked up later that day. Yeah, I'm really glad the way it turned out. It really adds a lot of life to the entire town by adding all these details. So I'm definitely going to be focusing on adding details to the existing parts we have, because I really need to do that, because if I postpone it too much, then I probably really hate it when I have to do all of it at once. So but we will see what else I do this episode, because there's quite some builds we do in this part. So I'm adding an extra road, and I'm adding in some greenery again. Then for the next part you can see me starting the blacksmith, which is next to the Carpenter. Again at an angle, because I really like the way it turned out in the first build. So I want to do more of them because it really adds a lot to the town if I do that. Sorry, we're not just building the blacksmith just yet. That will come in a little bit. But first I'm doing some planning for all the builds that I will be doing in the in this video. Most of the builds you see me planning out here, we will actually be building in the rest of the video, because I did a stream on my Dutch channel where I was building on this project, and I will be time-lapsing that all for you today. I did have some help for that part of the time-lapse, but you will see that you will see other people in the build. So first off, we're gonna do the blacksmith, which besides just being a house like any other build, is also going to have a separate part next to it, inspired heavily by Riverwood from Skyrim, because I started playing Skyrim again, which is definitely a great place to get some inspiration. So first off, we're just finishing off the house, which we have seen a couple of times now, and then we're starting working on the working place, which turned out really nicely. If I say so myself, really love adding all these details in Conquest. I'm still getting a grip of all the blocks Conquest Reforged has, because I haven't been building in Reforged that long. But yeah, I'm certainly happy with the way it turned out. And if you've got any tips or tricks or any blocks that I should be using, please feel free to comment them down below so I can use them in my videos, which will be really helpful actually. So from this part on, you can see some other people helping me. So this was all part of the stream I did on my Dutch channel, where we actually did a lot of the builds. So first off, we're starting out with the pottery shop, or the pottery workplace. So the house will be where the people live, and they will probably have a little market stall in the square as soon as we start working on that. But you can see the working place in the back where they will work on all the pottery that they make. Secondly, we're doing a really angle building, which is quite a challenge actually, to get the style quite right, because it's just really difficult to add a lot of details. But I did want to have at least one build being at this angle. I'm not sure if we will do many of them, because they do look a little bit less fancy or less nice than the other angled builds, but I think it turned out okay in the end, and especially glad on all the detailing we did outside of this of this butcher. This is actually the butcher. So we're now building a little shed in the back where he will butcher the animals that he buys or gets from people that sell it to him. So we've got a little shed. We've got a little pig pen where some of his well, poor piggies are waiting the last minutes of their or hours of their lives. They're really trying to escape also, but yeah, it turned out really nicely. And then in the front we actually built a little pit where he is actually roasting some pork, so that he can also sell not only raw meat but also cooked meat. Just an extra nice detail, and you will see some more details in the front of the butcher, which really turned out nicely. I'm not quite happy with all the details because there is a tanner rack, and before people are going to point that out, I'll probably remove that, because the tanner is going to be outside the town because of the smell, of course. So we'll do that, and then you can see a new building being built in the background. Now I will already tell that we will remove this build because it didn't quite work out, and they did mess up the style a little bit in the build. But I did add a lot of interesting detail to the roof, as you can see, which I'm not quite sure to use those on all the builds because it's a little bit more detailed, more richer than the other builds. But I will keep this in mind for when I do more important builds or more richer builds in this town, that we can add a little bit more detail to the roofs, which would be really great actually. So you can see now we start again, and this is going to be where people can buy all their groceries, all their vegetables. So we're first building the little house, and after that we're gonna do a little garden in the back to where he grows some of the stuff that he sells. Also just to, of course, add some detail to the town, because we really want to have a detailed town. And I think I will probably spend most of the time in the next episode adding detail to all of the builds that we've done so far. So adding greenery in the places in between, adding workplaces, finishing off the last 2 things that I planned out, and basically just finishing up the area that I've created right now, and make sure that they are really detailed before continuing too much on new stuff. I think that would be wise to do. So you can see us just finishing the little back garden here, which turned out really nice, I think. So I hope you guys like it, which will be it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys next time.